Basketball fans, welcome back. So about a month ago, I made a very lengthy video talking about the Nairobi Thunder's performance in BAL Season 5. And it was a lengthy one. I made sure to put everything in chronological order so that you can be able to keep tabs on what really happened with reference to Nairobi Thunder basketball. So after their disappointing outing in BAL Season 5, they were able to go ahead and make BAL Season 6. And they did not go through the first round. They went direct to the Elite 16 because of their performance. Because in the Elite 16 that happened in 2024 for BAL Season 5, you could see that the Nairobi Thunder finished on top, and they were the top team in the whole Division East. So that meant an automatic qualification to the Elite 16 directly. So majority of the teams, not even majority, but all of the teams except the Thunder in this this point, they went through the first round, the whole shebang. And the Thunder only played 4 games, and they're able to go ahead and clinch it again. So they won Division East in 2025, and that meant that they won road to BAL 6, and they were in BAL. So at this point, the confidence was an all-time high, and I released a series of videos talking about the Thunder, and I said peak Thunder basketball already happened, and the thing that we are going to see now downhill was going to be downhill for the team. And I don't think the people who follow the Thunder, they really thought that things will go sideways because of their performance in the Elite 16 in BAL Season 6. But the signs were all there. I saw that they cut their they kind of like not even cut their budget, but they were operating on a budget. And you could see that they were not aggressively pursuing stars like that. So let's just hear from the players what they thought about BAL 6.
It's very big because when we went to BAL Season 5 in Kigali, we were really embarrassed there. We only won 1 game out of 5.
We had an amazing season last season. What it taught us was we're capable as locals of competing in the BAL.
I'm excited to play this season. Last year I got the opportunity to go but not be able to play. It was hurtful to see my teammates losing out there, so I'm excited to be able to impact the game now on the court.
After last year, I feel like this is a really good opportunity for us to redeem ourselves. Going into that South Africa conference, all about W's.
When we came into last BL season, I think one of the things that we maybe didn't do our homework or preparation on the way we would have liked to is just ensuring that chemistry was there between the players that we brought in our local core. And I think, where we have a competitive advantage is really with our local core. I think those guys have played together so much. They've developed great chemistry. This time around, I think we've really tried to emphasize finding guys that will blend nicely in terms of play style and hopefully in terms of character as well. Just like really trying to find a good blend there.
The vibes have been great. Being that I was here before, it feels like all these guys are my cousins, So I love Kenya. I love Nairobi City Thunder. So I'm excited. I love it here. Mood and the energy in the locker room is really positive. I think guys are locked in so far. The intensity is really up there, and we're playing some really elite and high-level basketball.
The vibes in camp have been great. Everyone's excited to give it a go. It's our second year. Last year we didn't play up to our standards. We want to obviously make a push for the playoffs, and this year that's the time to do it.
The guys have matured. A lot happened last year. Like even with Dio, he came back stronger. Garang's looking nice from his hand injury. From 1 to 12, like we really want this. What's up, Nairobi City Thunder fans? KQ here. We over here gearing up for BAL 6. Stay tuned, stay locked in with us as we get ready. We appreciate y'all. Let's go.
So at this point, from somebody who has followed BAL and BAL basketball closely, I did not buy anything that these people said. You could see that in their desperate attempt to show that they are good, they went ahead and did their Thunder Nights, showing that they are good. Training camp is good when you're preparing here in Kenya, but if you see from that point where they got eliminated to this point where they already qualified for BAL 6, there was no evolution in their game. There was nothing that they did that changed their game significantly. Because one thing I observed was after BAL season 5 came to a close, the way the Thunder played, it did not evolve. Even after they got brutalized in BAL season 5, they got clapped heavily. And even after being clapped by all those teams, their game did not change. They reverted back to how they play games. They kept chasing games even after blowing out a team, even after being up like 30 points, they're still chasing a win. And it's something that I didn't understand. And their evolution of their game did not change. The only thing that made them made them look like they were, playing well was the fact that they are banking on the fact that people already forgotten about BAL season 5 and their capitulation performance. And here on this channel, I made sure to go ahead and vocally say it as it is. This team took the high road. And let's hear what Coach Brad Ibbs had to say prior to BAL season 6.
Internally, I think our guys had a great experience of being on that stage and really realizing that they belong there and can contribute at a high level. I think we've taken that sense of confidence in all of our, practice and development since that time. And I think everybody's going to play with an edge, with a lot of confidence. I think there's a sense of unfinished business, and this is, the next step in getting back and addressing that unfinished business.
The lack of accountability and delusion is puzzling at this point, because you could see not only was it seen by the coach, but also the players themselves. Yes, I understand that you have to have like a bit of confidence in trying to mount the comeback, but the odds were all stacked against the Thunder, because looking at even the teams that they had to go through Al Ahly, LY from Libya, they had to go through Petro de Luanda, they had to go through RS Tigers and Dar City. So it was going to be a difficult game. It was going to be it was not going to be something that was going to be simple, and also Joburg Giants. So it was going to be a difficult performance that they had to pull off, because BAL changed the season, BAL changed the format, and they made sure that the Thunder could only play 5 games. So it was not even a round robin. Last time the BAL 5 happened, you could see there was a round robin, and the Thunder played only 3 teams, and they played them twice. So this was one team, in 5 games. So you could see that the way that the way BAL was set up, the margin of error was minimal. And I don't think the Thunder players knew this at camp, because the level of delusion and the level of I can't even say the lack of awareness of what was going to come. Oh my God, you just have to see it to believe it, because I'm going to have the next clip showing how these players were talking and the way their sentiments were prior to BAL 6, and you can just see how outrageous their responses were.
We want to be the pressure. We don't want to feel the pressure.
I was so pissed last time, Ville, we were losing.
Losing 5 games is not easy.
This year, now I get the chance to go play with them, so now I'm definitely excited.
Kenya has great basketball fans.
Last year was a learning experience for us. We picked up a few teaching points, and going there this year, I think there's nothing we want to do but just win. Winning is going to bring a lot of positives in Kenyan basketball. So we are not just playing for ourselves and Nairobi City Thunder organization. We are playing for every single basketball lover in the country, and we know the performance we're going to put up out there is going to affect the game positively in Kenya. So we have no choice but to win.
So you could hear what they were saying, especially Ariel Local. So I've mentioned Ariel Local multiple times in this channel and also the other platforms I have. And I must say, this guy is washed. He's not a good basketball player. This is a person whose game has never evolved. And this is a person who I can even say is a reject in the world. And the only place that he can be able to get compensation for basketball is through the Nairobi City Thunder. And I can even say the Nairobi City Thunder right now, they are the retirement home of the legacy players in the Kenya Morans. And that's the truth. That has always been the truth. This is a man who cannot play basketball. I've even mentioned him when I'm making national team analysis. And I knew this guy's game was pathetic all the way from way back when. From back in the day when they were playing in the 2021 Afrobasket qualifiers, I knew this guy was not it. I knew this guy was pathetic. I knew this guy cannot play basketball and should just look for another career. I mean, he's doing some good things when it comes down to Swish basketball. Yes, he won the Ubuntu Award. I honestly felt like Hashim Dabit should have won it. But nevertheless, he got the award. He should just focus on what he's doing off the court, but not on the court. He's trying to relive his prime days through basketball, through the Thunder, but it's failing miserably. And he was one of the most unreliable and unserviceable players at his position in BAL Season 6. And I can even say his contribution was at an all-time low, and he's not somebody that team can actually rely on down the stretch. So yeah. Now let's hear what Garang Ding had to say, because I mean, it keeps getting funny every single time.
Going 1 and losing 5 games is not easy, especially mentally to players. But for me, I think it's about just doing better the next time, because it's always a learning experience.
So Garang Ding is a very good basketball player. Don't get me wrong. This guy, he's good. But the problem is this guy does not know how to play defense. And he got exposed brutally because teams knew that they needed just to attack him because he was the only reliable option for the Thunder, mainly. And you could see that if the other opposing team were to draw fouls and go to the line on him, they will be able to limit his ability to even play defense. And he got a couple of unsportsmanlike fouls. I mean, he only had one good game against the Joburg Giants, and the Joburg Giants, they were the doormat of the whole Kalari conference, if I can say that. They were the worst team. And looking at how things panned out, you could see that yes, he's a good player, but does it really translate to wins in the BAL stage? Yes, in KBF it works. But you could see that when he came to BAL, it was a different ball game, and he really struggled. And let's just hear what Brad Ibbs also had to add on when he came down to Nairobi Thunder and BAL 6.
Obviously, that journey was amazing. We kept taking the next step competitively, and we had the Elite 16 here last year. It was a beautiful journey, right? And I think it was a learning journey. We did it. There was a lot of pressure on us to make that happen.
So the level of delusion continues. And at this point, I really don't understand if, the Thunder are just playing this. It's all a gag. I'm not sure if these people are, trolling us, because at this point, they were acting as if they finished top of the Nile Conference in BAL 5. They're acting as if they made it all the way to the finals and they won it all. They think there's a lot of pressure on us. If you look at the Thunder, the only game that they won was against MBB, a team that did not even make the playoffs in BAL 5. And you could see the level of, I can even say arrogance, lack of self-awareness, and delusion that was there in camp. It was crazy. And to be honest, I really did not understand it. And when I was going back and watching these games, watching their post-game interviews, you could see the lack of accountability that was there. It was puzzling. I don't understand why these people do this. I don't understand. Yes, I understand you have to have self-confidence, but you also have to have self-awareness. And speaking of self-awareness, let's hear what Bramwell had to go ahead and say. Because let me tell you, I promise he's going to get more and more hilarious as we move forward.
I was so pissed last time, we were losing. And I said, if I get an opportunity to play, I will help the team perform better, and this is my chance.
I was definitely disappointed. We put in all the work to be the first Kenyan team to qualify, and then getting the experience to go play BAL. And finding out that I didn't get to play, it hurt. But being able to go and watch my teammates, represent us on that big stage was definitely exciting. I was happy that they got the opportunity, and now this year, I get the chance to go play with them. So now I'm definitely excited.
So as the delusion continues, our very own vlogger / basketball player Derek Ogechi, he came out and said those things, and I laughed. I mean, you could see these people are just not aware of things. They don't understand the magnitude of BAL. And speaking from the perspective of having covered BAL from BAL season 1 to all the way to BAL season 6 this year, I can say with full confidence, the Nairobi Thunder were not aware, nor did they understand what BAL is and how BAL basketball is supposed to be played. And they got taught, a very valuable lesson in humility last season in BAL season 5, where they went 1-5. And in this one, the brutality continued. And the delusion that these athletes have, I mean, it's beyond this world. And as we carry on this video, you're just going to see how more delusional, like how, these people, their lack of connection to reality is puzzling. And it's something that I marvel at every single time. So let's just continue, because it's just getting funny and funny as you move forward.
We just want to do right by us and the fans. So it's unfinished business. I wouldn't say it's pressure, because we're all locked in. I don't sense an ounce of scaredness in anybody. Honestly, I feel like we're all locked in from 1 to 16, 21 to 22, including the staff. Like, we want this bad, and we can't wait to show how bad we want it.
Now let's talk about Albert Odero. And in this one, I'm going to go ahead and be brutally honest, and I'm not going to filter anything when it comes down to this guy. So back in 2021, when Albert Odero made his debut with the Kenya Morans in the Afrobasket of 2021, this guy's gameplay was different. This guy had a lot of promise. He had a lot of bounce. He was a player that really excited me when he was there. And he was just doing incredible things. And ever since then, this guy's gameplay has gone downhill, especially with his move to the Nairobi Thunder. So he came to the Thunder in 2024, at the start of 2024, and you could see the impact that he had, and he was one of the bright spots for that Thunder team. And I can even say he was the main option for that Thunder team. So this guy has been consistent with his game, but the problem is, you could see there was no competition that was going to challenge his gameplay. So somewhat he plateaued. And even after, fast forward to 2025, at the end of the Elite 16 in BAL, you could see the Nairobi Thunder and Albert Odero parted ways, and he went to play for RS Tigers in Rwanda. So at the time, I saw this was a red flag for the team, because they are losing their best player, a player that they relied on, a player that really carried them throughout KBF games. And even in the early 16, he was great. The early 16 in 2025, he was great. And looking at his move to the RS Tigers, you could see that this move altered the way the Nairobi Thunder offense was going to be, and how it's going to play out. And fast forward to BAL season 6. So this guy, he left the RS Tigers. I'm not sure how this contract looked like, but he left. He was not 100%. He was about 50 to 60%, and he missed 2 games for the Thunder. And one thing I can say it was an absolute L with this guy was the fact that he left the RS Tigers. APR was slated in to play in BAL season 6, but because of politics between the Rwandese government and the US government, they had to get dropped. And RS Tigers, the team that he left, came into that position, and they went to BAL. You all know what happened. They had that whole Cinderella run, and they won the BAL 6 title. At this point, I feel like the guy who took the absolute L was Albert Odero, because not only did he leave RS Tigers, but also he got injured when he was playing for the Thunder, a team that finished at the bottom, near the bottom, just right there with the Joburg Giants. And the team that he left to, go, the team that he left at the time, went ahead and won the whole title. So this guy lost twice. Because as we speak, had he just said that I'm not going to come back to the Thunder, and he just stuck to the RS Tigers, even if he was coming off the bench, at least he would have been a BAL champion. But, this guy's patriotism got in the way, and his and him wanting to play for the Nairobi Thunder got in the way, to the point where he got injured. He got injured seriously, and I'm not sure his timeline. I'm not sure if he's back to playing 5-on-5 basketball. but I'm going to go ahead and give you an update on what he's at. So I'm going to go ahead and do some digging on that. But this guy lost twice, and even I confronted him on DMs. Yes, this guy, he's aware of the L moves that he has made. And to be honest, I can't stop laughing at him because he ended up, screwing. He shot himself in the foot at this one. And, he played for a team that had no future, had no vision, had nothing. And the Thunder are destined to fail in BAL. And that's not something that I can, retract. I always knew that they were going to fail because they didn't have enough time to prepare. And they're operating on a budget. And the signings that they got were virtually useless and unplayable. And I'm going to go ahead and address that as we move forward. So let's just continue with this video.
I've been very impressed with their work ethic, with their talent level, with their size, athleticism. So I feel like the advantage we'll have is our roster being deep enough to keep a good rotation going. I think I relate to it well. I've been on a lot of good teams before, but one thing I do like is that winning streak, and the unfinished business kind of gives us a chip on our shoulder, one, but the winning streak also gives us confidence. So anytime you have a confident team, that also helps because this makes guys play a little, I feel like it makes you play your game better when you're confident compared to when you go out there and you're scared or you're nervous. But I love the confidence of these guys, and I think it will take us a long way.
I could add some experience on, the past leagues I played in. I think I could give them a lot of different looks and versatility out there too. So that's out there I can help.
It's been very easy for me to assimilate to my teammates and for them to assimilate to me. And I feel like our chemistry is just a reflection of that, How I feel playing basketball, basketball is my release, real life is pressure. But I do feel that sense of urgency to just compete and make it to the second round, make it to the playoffs, I definitely feel that sense of urgency, but definitely no pressure.
So those are the new signings. So the Nairobi Thunder brought in a rapper in Lance Thomas to play at the front court. I mean, this was just getting funny and funny as I was making this video, because this guy, yes, he led in blocks, but he was a non-factor because of the non-sportsmanlike fouls he was getting. And those blocks that he averaged a lot. He averaged like 2.8 blocks, if I'm not wrong. So this guy was very good defensively, but the unfortunate thing was even this guy's defense could not stop the bleeding. They could not stop the fact that the Thunder were losing games. And that was the big problem, because you can't just play defense and just assume that this guy, just because he's blocking shots, he's playing defense. So he was racking up a lot of sportsmanlike fouls. Even those block shots meant nothing because the outcome did not change. The Thunder conceded the most points, and they were right there with the Joburg Giants in conceding a lot of points. So this guy's impact defensively was non-existent. Even the other guys, Shai Davis was useless. Even this Ziako guy was useless. I'm not sure what the Thunder were doing when they brought in these rejects from, these overseas leagues. I say even this Lance Thomas guy, I saw his play for the OKC Blue. Yes, another reject. All these guys that the Thunder brought in were all rejects, and they did virtually nothing to help the Thunder. I mean, one thing that I've seen that really helped even the other teams was they recruited veterans who already played BAL basketball, not players who have played overseas like that, and they bring them in the BAL stage, because other teams, they were making sure that they wanted somebody who knows how to play BAL basketball, and that's what they went for. But the Thunder, because they thought that they knew basketball more than the other people, the other teams, they thought that let's just bring these names and let's see if they can be able to get wins for them. And even with these guys there, Shai Davis, even in the last few games, you could see he was listed as a DNP. He was useless. Somebody who cannot get even buckets for you. Lance Thomas, yes, the blocks were looking flashy, but to be honest, this guy's defensive IQ is at an all-time low. Even Ziako, you cannot trust a foreigner to carry your team. It was an exercise in futility, and the Thunder learned the hard way. And even with these guys being there, the Thunder still got clapped. They got clapped brutally, and it was not pretty. And it just goes to show you the level of stupidity and the level of incompetence that the Thunder organization exhibits, and the lack of accountability, especially when it comes down to these types of transactions. So let's just continue with the delusion the delusion trail of the Nairobi Thunder?
Pressure-wise, I'll just say we want to be the pressure. We don't want to feel the pressure. We want to be the pressure. Let the other opponents in Pretoria feel the pressure. For us, we want to go there and be the pressure.
So at this point, I've roasted the hell out of Ariel Okal. And at this point, this guy is the epitome of delusion. And this guy actually says that the Thunder are going to be the pressure. The Thunder were never the pressure. Actually, the Thunder were a doormat of BAL. In BAL Season 5, the Thunder were a doormat. Teams were getting wins from the Thunder easy. Even in BAL Season 6, teams were not, the top teams that even qualified, were not looking at the Thunder as a team that was a threat. I mean, the only team that the Thunder thought that they could be able to go ahead and dominate was Joburg Giants and Dar City. Those are the only two teams. All the others, RS Tigers, I knew for a fact that even with the Thunder being able to win a game against the RS Tigers, they only play this team at full strength, which I'm going to go ahead and cover. But the teams that are already picked to go ahead and proceed, we had the Petro de Luanda team and the Alali team from Libya. I knew for a fact that the Thunder were not going to beat them. And if the Thunder wanted to show that they were the pressure, they would have gone ahead and defeated the Alali team from Libya and the Petro de Luanda team from Angola. Had they done that, I would have looked at them as a team that had pressure on the league. But to be honest, I mean, the delusion trail, like, I don't know if these people are just, fooling with us. I'm not sure if these people are aware of the level of delusion and stupidity, but, it's puzzling at this point. So moving on.
I'm really thankful that this is like 6 years later. I'm going to get an opportunity to play that big stage.
So now getting the opportunity, our second chance at it, we definitely want to get back and do better than we did before. And just, give it our all, not just sit back and say like, we could have done more, but every single game, no matter what, if we do our best, it doesn't matter what the outcome is. And, hopefully it could get us to the playoffs this year.
What to expect? Wins, first of all, highlights, us representing Kenya at the highest level, and Thunder basketball. You guys know what Thunder basketball is, so Thunder basketball.
So shout out to B+ Sport for coming through with this interview. I must say, the time I watched the whole thing, I was really laughing because I saw a couple of clips on the internet when they were making promos for this interview. And I said, let me just go ahead and check for the whole thing so I can be able to not take these people or these players out of context. But man, you've had the level of delusion and the level of the lack of awareness that was within the Nairobi Thunder, and they were just taking the high road at this one, and you could see there was no changes made. The mentality was the same. These people thought, especially the players, thought that we can go ahead and do better. We are good. They're like, we don't have to change anything. It's as if the way the game plan that they stuck to gave them any win, because in BAL Season 5 they went 1 of 5, and in this one, in BAL Season 6, they went 2 of 3, and the 3 losses were embarrassing, especially the loss against Petro, Alali. Those were embarrassing. The Dar City one, the game was close. This was a game that was winnable, but still they lost. And in the next series of videos, you're going to see the lack of accountability with the Nairobi Thunder and their level of delusion. And also, I'll just round it up at the end and also give my opinion at that. So let's just hear what they had to say when they were given these L's.
I mean, first off, I think I'd just like to say I'm really proud of my guys. I think we battled all night. That was a really high-level basketball game. A lot of tactics, a lot of back and forth. You saw some really great individual play. It was a fun game to be a part of, and I'm really proud of my guys for the way they fought right up to the very end. I feel like we're starting to have the unlucky bug in the BAL. It's the third time now, guys taking crazy shots as the game clock's winding down. I'm not even sure if this one was an actual shot, just kind of a heave, right at the end. So, but that's basketball, and I think we need to come back kind of together collectively and focus for tomorrow, because Joburg's going to give us their best effort.
So from my point of view, I don't think the Thunder were unlucky. They were tired at the end, and the Dar City team caught on to that, and they were able to make game-winning plays at the end. So the Thunder are not used to playing games that are close. They are not used to having a lot of pressure on them on offense and defense. And that's the reason as to why they crumble, because majority of the time, the Thunder play below average teams in KBF. And when they carry that KBF mentality to BAL, this is the result.
First.
Yes, please.
I mean, I think I'm very privileged to have a locker room full of high character players. And so I think, this is obviously really disappointing. I think they know to have a kind of a short memory, and kind of collectively tomorrow morning we'll come back out fresh. Tyler, obviously, like you mentioned, is going to be a big part of that, just kind of getting us aligned and ready to play tomorrow.
As coach has mentioned, we need to have a short memory. Whatever has happened today has happened. We move on to Joburg tomorrow. Yes.
So that right there is the main reason as to why even I decided to go ahead and make a whole series of videos talking about the Thunder. You could see the coach, Brad Hibbs and Talongwe said, we have to have a short memory in these games. Okay, there's nothing that they can do to change the outcome, but I believe there's something that they can do to change the outcome of the next game that they're going to play. So coming out and saying that, you have to have a short memory, especially when it comes down to these games, I can say is delusion, lack of awareness, and choosing to take the high road and erasing any level of accountability, and not providing a platform to ask the question, why did we lose? Because this is the main reason as to why the Thunder are losing games, and they're not looking back and saying, why did we lose this game? What did we do offensively? What did we do defensively? Who was supposed to pick up these assignments? Who was supposed to look at, who was supposed to go ahead and look at the productivity of these players, especially from the technical bench, when it came down to setting the lineups, when it came down to subbing out. Them saying that just let's have a short memory and focus on the next. It voids everything, and it voids any level of accountability they will have had to apply in this. So let's just move on.
Yeah, I think I was really happy with our energy tonight. I felt like collectively on the bench, we were all aligned, pulling in the same direction. I never really had any issues with that. I felt like, I think you could see in our play. I think if we continue to play games like that for our remaining 4 games, I think we feel really good about our chances for advancing.
I'll say, if you look at the stats, we played really good. We out-rebounded them. We had 22 assists. But coach always say we need to have less than 10 turnovers. But today we had 16. I think that's where the game is. Mm-hmm. And we will rectify that and see how we can get out of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think as we talked in the locker room, we need to have a short memory and just forget what happened and prepare, scout Joburg. We played them in November. It was a good game, so it's a rich rematch, and we will be ready for them. And I know they will be ready for us. So it will be a good game. Yeah.
Last question, Emmanuel.
This is for you, Tyler. Obviously, you speak about having a short memory, but I just want to take you back into this game because you had a pretty good night shooting, especially from the three-point area. And it seems to be your team's identity. Fast basketball, lots of shooting. Can you speak to us, obviously, about how, because, that's changed what Kenyan basketball has become now. You guys are playing a new brand of Kenyan basketball. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to us about that and the role that you play in this movement?
I'll just give credit to our coaching staff. They do an amazing job. Since November, we've been practicing. They make us shoot a lot of shots. They've prepared us for this stage, and it's just credit to them. They're just as good as anybody else. Yeah.
So let me just be honest when it comes down to Tyler Ongwae and the Nairobi Thunder. So this guy is washed. He's not 2021 Tyler Ongwae. He's 2026 Tyler Ongwae. So this is not a person that you can actually rely on. He's not somebody who can even be the de facto number 1 option on this team. He is not good. He is aged out, and you could see you can even see the look on their face. They know that whatever they are saying they don't see, it doesn't sit right with them, but they just go ahead and say it, and you just see the level of delusion in their eyes. it's so unfortunate, man. I was watching these. I watched these interviews when they happened at the time, and now even when I was going ahead and rewatching them back when I was making this video, you can see there's a level of disconnect and lack of awareness and serious delusions of grandeur that are there. And this short memory thing is going to be a thing now on, because they've mentioned it multiple times in the interviews, and you could see that, you know, there's a lack of care and there's a lack of ability to understand and even read the room and understand the weight of your words, because, you know, journalists are going to take whatever you've said and plaster it everywhere when you speak like that. So it can even end up being a meme, and this player can even end up being a meme. I mean, the Nairobi Thunder did not look like a team that were taking basketball seriously, because they, at BAL Season 5, you could see basketball was not even the main thing when they went to BAL. It was just about, you know, branding, marketing, and this is the same case that applies here. So let's look at the next game that they played. So they played against the Joburg Giants in a rematch, and this game the Thunder won 71-65 was the final score. So let's just hear what Brad Dibbs had to say. Grang Ding was there in the interview, so let's just hear what they had to say when they won their first game. And this time they were 1-1, and I was keeping score of everything. So let's just hear what they had to say, and then I'll go ahead and come back with a response.
I think tonight we really relied on a great defensive effort. It wasn't a great shooting night for us. Garang obviously performed really well and sort of bailed us out in that, but I think some guys that were used to making shots just didn't make shots. They were good shots, we just didn't go in tonight, which happens. So I think we really needed to rely on our defense, getting stops. Lance was big, just protecting the rim tonight as well. And I think just a really good team effort. A lot of contributions from guys throughout the game that we really needed.
Ding?
So coming off the bench, it doesn't really matter to me. So it's just about complementing with the guys in the team. So just thank God for the shots I was able to make to help us to get them out of the zone. Mm-hmm. And so it's really important for us as we continue over in the next game, just to try to build a momentum and get more wins. Yep.
I think it was just calling their attention to focus on the little things of good basketball. So we knew we needed to rebound. We knew we needed to keep the ball in front of us, to communicate. I think those are a lot of the things that just go into like putting together great defensive possessions one after another. And I think Joburg Giants fought really hard tonight, and I think they obviously made some plays. I think they're almost playing in a sense out of desperation for certain stretches, and it worked for them. I mean, they're a great team. Credit to them for tonight. But I think we were able to get the stops when we needed.
Questions, Emmanuel?
This question is for you, Garang. You missed out on the second leg of the road to BAL last year due to injury. Can you speak to us about obviously coming back from overcoming that injury, obviously, and playing at the level you did, because it looks like you didn't miss a step?
So I missed the Elite 16. Thankfully, my guys they were able to carry me through over to the BL. So it wasn't easy. Just doing a lot of physiotherapy and staying sharp, watching a lot of games, watching a lot of film. I'm trying to improve my mental aspect of the game while I'm not able to play. And also the team always encouraged me, and I thank God I was able to come back from the injury. Yep.
Questions? KB?
KB Murishani from 5FM. My question goes to both Coach Bragley and to Garang. There were moments in the game where the fans were really making an impact, and it seemed as though you guys would go on to lose the game. How were you guys able to keep your heads in the game, and how were you able to hold your nerve and go on to get the win?
I think we have a really tight locker room right now. I'm really happy about that. I think you need that in a tournament like this. There's obviously Joburg Giants came in November to Nairobi and got to experience our fans, and it was our turn to experience their fans, and the momentum that can bring. But yeah, thankfully I think our guys really pulled together, and I think communicated and did what needed to be done down the stretch.
Teppo from Thomas Hall Media. Coach, we spoke first day. We spoke about the level of competition intensity, and in terms of your coaching style and adaptation to the game. Are you setting the tone, or are you reactive in terms of how you're approaching the games?
Yes. We do both.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, we have a game plan. We have a style of basketball that Nairobi City Thunder loves to play. We love to impose that on teams whenever we can, but, I'd be foolish to, just stick with that when it's not working. So we definitely made some adjustments today. They played zone on us. We played zone a little bit. I think we they have two very big bigs, and, we had to really fight. So there was a lot of tactical adjustments on both sides tonight. It was a fun game to be a part of.
So yes, the Thunder won this game, and this was great. So a lot of people at the time came to my DM saying, "Deritu, you are wrong. You don't know what you're saying. The Thunder are back." But understand that Joburg Giants finished 0 for 5 in all of the games. They could not defend home court, and you could see the Joburg Giants were I can even say the doormat of the Kalahari Conference. And you can see how the tune changed. Just because you won this game doesn't mean that it's going to guarantee a win in the next game. That is what the Thunder fans, I can even say the fake fans who follow the Thunder, they thought that now Thunder are back up, everything is going to be fine and dandy, everything's going to change. And as the games progressed, they progressively became harder and harder to win. So you can even see the level of, arrogance and nonchalance, the way they were, just speaking the way they want to speak. They're not humble. You cannot put humble and Thunder at the same sentence. You can't, because you could see, they took some subtle jibes at the Joburg Giants, which was okay because they won the game. But if you look at it closely, you could see they struggled to beat the Joburg Giants. I watched that game live. And I also went ahead and watched the replay. You could see, while the other teams decisively beat the Joburg Giants, the Thunder struggled to beat them. The Joburg Giants were a team that, they looked beatable, and they were beatable. The Thunder, they beat them. But the way the Thunder went about beating them, they did not win comfortably. This was a clutch game all through until the end. It was a nail-biter till the end. But the other 4 teams that beat the Joburg Giants, it was convincing. There was no question about it. There was no going back and saying, oh, this team, they had a chance. No. But in the Thunder game, they had a chance, and it was very close. That is one thing that they will not go ahead and admit, because, a win is a win. They're going to take this win and ride with it, because one thing I've noticed is the Thunder are very late to post. Especially at the time, they were very late to post these games when they lost. But when the games that they won, immediately, because they knew people like it when the team wins. And yes, we clashed with a lot of people. A lot of people had some nasty things to say about this at my DMs. And I really laughed about it, because I was like, man, you have so much energy when the Thunder win, but you have no energy when the Thunder lose. And that's one thing that I even mentioned, even in the videos I was making at the time, because I made a lot of videos at this point, talking about the Thunder, talking about what they did in these games. And to be honest, I stood by everything, and I can even say I was vindicated with everything in the next 2 games that happened. So they went on to play Petro and Alali. So let's just hear their reaction after they got brutally clapped by the Petro de Luanda team. This one was one for the ages. This one was crazy. And I also forgot to mention, I went to the watch party that happened in the Kovo, Nairobi, to watch the Dar City game. I was there with Javan. And also I went to the 254 Beer District to have the watch party, where I watched the Thunder getting brutalized by Alali. So let's just hear what the coaching staff had to say, especially Brad Gibbs and their reaction to losing to Petro at the time.
Coach, just in the second quarter is where everything sort of went haywire. What are certain challenges that you faced then that you think your team could have improved on, and how were you unable to get out of the slump because you carried on right through to the end of the game?
I think, obviously, it was a pretty even game through the first quarter. I think they ramped up their on-ball pressure. They put in a lot of situations, they put two guys on the ball, and I think we just didn't handle it very well. We didn't pass out of it well. They got some deflections and some steals out of that, and it just sort of snowballed. I actually don't think it carried on through the rest of the game. I think if I'm not mistaken, we might have won the second half. So I think or at the very least, it was an even game in the second half. So I was really proud of the way we responded. It would have been, I think, easy for us to just fold. Really proud of the ways that my guys fought in the second half.
Question for Derek Manyashisa from the Big Tip-Off. Derek, last season you didn't see much action. This season you've done very well. You've been doing very well. How are you feeling about your game in this season of the BAL?
I'm just excited to be able to represent Kenya and play for NCT. And just having the opportunity to be here. Like you said, I didn't get the opportunity last year, but I'm excited to be here, and hopefully we can get some wins.
Question to Coach, Alex Aboke, Capital FM. Coach, Albert Odero coming on from injury. This is the first game. How much of impact did he play to the team, especially contributing 11 points? And again, now what's your plan remaining the two must-win game against the Tigers, who are yet to lose, and then the last game and the other game against Al Ahly? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think everyone was excited and energized by the fact that Albert got to play tonight. I think we had to be a bit cautious and limit his minutes with the injury that he's had. But I think he generally felt well. We'll continue to monitor the situation, obviously. With the 2 games remaining, I think I can say the vibes in our locker room are really positive. Guys feel like, we just played the best club in Africa, and we played them toe-to-toe for 3 quarters. And we know that we've had bad stretches in this tournament. We really need to kind of mature past that, and I think not let games get out of hand or stretches get out of hand. And I think if we do that, we can get 2 W's in these last 2 games. I think if we could play 2 complete games.
Aisha from Sona FM. My question for you, Derek, is you scored the highest points, and previously a player from another team had the same thing, and he was also in the same position as you, as in he got the highest points, but he didn't necessarily perform as well as he would have liked to, and the team lost the match, unfortunately. What would you say are the positive takeaways from this game, and what is the future looking like?
Like Coach said, we put together 3 good quarters, and the ups and downs of the games, we just need to start managing it better as we go throughout the tournament and put together a complete game. I think that'll help us get over the hump and get some wins.
So as you can see, the Thunder, they're just happy to participate. They don't care about the winning. They don't care about, the playoffs at this point. They just want to be there and enjoy the perks of playing in the Basketball Africa League. And even with their responses, you can see they knew that they were not going to win this game. So Petro de Luanda, they are BAL champions. They won in 2024. They made the finals in 2025. And they also made the finals. First of all, after this, they went on to make the finals, but they lost to the RS Tigers. And I can say the Thunder, thinking that they can be able to beat a Petro de Luanda team at full strength, was utter delusion. I knew for a fact that they were not going to beat Petro. I knew Petro de Luanda are going to go ahead and outclass them and take them take them through the ringer and teach them a basketball lesson that they'll never forget. I knew for a fact that was going to happen because I followed Petro. Actually, Petro were the team I picked to even go ahead and dominate this conference. I'd picked the Al Ahly team, Petro, RS Tigers, and Dar City. I'd not picked Thunder because I knew Thunder was not going to make it anyway. So we could see the Thunder, they're just happy to participate. There was no competitive spirit. They got blown out. And after this, I just knew the chances of the Thunder going ahead and qualifying were at an all-time low. They were at a minimum. They were not going to be able to do anything significant at this point. And no one should come to me and try to wag their finger in my face telling me that, you know, the Thunder are a good team, because when they matched up against the best, one of the best teams in the Basketball Africa League, they capitulated. They rode on the wave of Joburg Giants as if the Joburg Giants have done anything significant. They have not done. They did not. They have not and will not and never do anything significant in BAL basketball. A team like Petro, they are proven champions. They won. They participated in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup somewhere, a place where the Thunder dream of. You know, they won. They lifted the BAL title. You know, they got their rings. They got, you know, the chance to go ahead and participate deep in the post. There's no team that has been in constant title contention like Petro. And the Thunder think they could beat Petro. That was a pipe dream. I don't know where they were. And the next one was also equally brutal, because I watched this game live. I said, you know what? Maybe it's the app that the NBA app I'm using that is incorrect. Let me go and watch the Al Ahly versus Nairobi City Thunder game with other people so that they can see whatever I see. Because sometimes the things that I talk about and I say, maybe they are only exclusive to me. Let's see if whatever I'm seeing, other people can see. And I'll also go ahead and get back and give my thoughts on this. So let's just hear what, you know, the Thunder had to say after they got brutalized by the Al Ahly team from Libya.
KB Mudishane from 5FM. My question goes to Coach Bradley. Coach, that is your third loss of the season, and the playoffs seem to be slipping further and further and further away. What is the plan heading into the final game to at least have a chance of making it into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think you've seen in all of our games, even in our win, I think we can put great stretches of basketball together and then get out of character, and then that has snowballed on us like it did tonight. So I think we're going to just keep fighting to put together a complete game for 4 quarters, and yeah, that's all we can do.
Tough luck. Looking at leading the 12th halftime, at what point did we lose the match, especially coming to the third quarter? Again, if you can give the update about Odero's injury, so him limping off. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact moment. I have to go back and watch, but you know, I think it was a combination of things. I think they made some plays. We had a few untimely turnovers that really changed the momentum of the game. And I think, you know, for a long time, I think we really fought to continue to like get back in it. And I think they made plays, and we came up a little short. And I think there was kind of a tipping point there at some point. But like overall, like I'm proud of the way we fought tonight. And I think we just, you know, when we get out of character, the margins in this league are so thin. The team with that talent level, it's like you really have to like execute almost perfectly for 40 minutes to beat them. Albert, I don't have a comment on that now. It would just be guessing. So he's being examined.
Questions? Yes, Emmanuel.
This question goes for you, Joe. You obviously came out hard and played today, and you ultimately fell short. But now the task ahead is even more difficult, and we've seen one of your teammates, Albert, go down today. What does that mean for you, and what's your preparation like, knowing that you're facing the Tigers in 2 days? What do the next 48 hours look like for you in preparation for this, that you have to pick up the load when the road ahead is even more difficult now?
It's a big loss for us, losing Albert. Unfortunately, that's just a part of basketball. You know, he played great, played a hard first half, and he gave his all. And yeah, he's still being examined, like Coach said. But as a team now, we just have to find out what the game plan is for the Tigers, and we have to be able to execute that game plan a lot better than we did tonight, and really leave it up to us as far as how the game's going to go. We have to dictate the pace and give ourselves the best chance to get to the playoffs in Kigali.
So this game versus the Al Ahly team from Libya, they got brutalized, no question. I knew the beatdown was coming, and this was the game where Albert Odera got injured. So he played in the Petro de Luanda game in restricted minutes, and he got injured in this Al Ahly game. So I knew it was all downhill for the Thunder. When they lost this game, I knew they were already out. I knew the Thunder were not going to make it to the BAL postseason, and they didn't even make it the postseason. a lot of stupid fans came to the comment section saying that, oh, the Thunder have one game, we can still qualify, there's still a chance, not understanding there's something called point differential. So at this point, I knew the Thunder were still going to take the high road. They were still arrogant enough to go ahead and take the high road. And if you've noticed in these post-game pressers, when they lose, they just do not take any accountability. They feel like they're on the same level as these teams. And one thing that Bal has been able to teach the Thunder is there's levels to this. You can go around lapping about being unbeaten, but when it comes down to it, when push comes to shove, and the Thunder meet a team that have the ability to offset them, that is where they crumble. That is where they revert back to factory default. That's where they throw all their stylish plays, game plans, and highlights. They throw them out of the window and stick to only one trick, that is run and gun. That's it. That's the only thing that they stick to. And they paid the hard way in this one. I watched this game live with other people, and it was funny because they were watching me. I watched it. I was reacting to it. Guys were watching it. It was something that it was inevitable they were going to lose this one. And I was not even shocked because the way the Al Ahly team started, they did not start well, and they finished very strong. And I knew the Thunder were not going to be able to withstand that pressure from a North African team, because the Al Ahly team from Libya, North African team, and also Al Ahly, not the exact team, but the franchise itself made the finals in 2024. Something I had not, I did not pick them to make it to the finals, but they lost to Petro. So this is a team that they know what to do. They know what to do in these types of situations. And I knew the Thunder were not going to be able to beat them. And it was evident. So let's just hear what, the Thunder had to say when they won their last game versus the RS Tigers. So RS Tigers, after, going on to dominate the Kalahari Conference, they went ahead and dominated the playoffs and they won the finals. So let's just hear what the Thunder had to say in this one, and I'm gonna come back and react to it.
First of all, Coach, congratulations on the win today. I just want to find out, we saw a couple of roster changes, but we saw that Jawachi had a massive game today, but he didn't really feature in the previous games. Is there a reason for that, or is there any sort of regret because maybe his impact early in the tournament could have changed the course of the BAL for your team?
Yeah, he had an injury in Nairobi that we were kind of giving him a little bit of extra time. Obviously he played in those early games, but I think it was harder for him to play heavy minutes. So I think as he healed and was comfortable, you could see I think extended his minutes every game. So yeah, no, definitely was a impactful player today.
Coach, congratulations for beating Tigers. Now you finish with 2 wins, 3 losses. Again, another Basketball Africa League not qualifying for the playoffs. Probably what are the lessons that you pick up from this year's tournament, and we are going to build up towards the next year? Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, happy to get a second win, one more than last year, and next year more. I think we played some really great stretches of basketball in this tournament. Tyler and I were just talking about this. And then we also had played some really bad stretches of basketball. So I think it's just a matter of maturing and being disciplined and kind of knowing time and score and just the situation of the game and playing appropriately. I think if we can erase some of those bad stretches, probably we're advancing. So.
Thank you. Yeah. Congrats again, Coach and Tyler, for today's victory. Tyler, since 2021, you've been most on those African courts, talking about the AfroBaskets, the BAL as well. And next year we're gonna have African, when you guys have been vice champs in 2023. How all of these platforms of basketball in Africa will help not only you but the national team, because you used to play with your teammates representing Kenya here in Nairobi City Thunder. So how all of these competition will help you prepare better so that we can see next year you and your teammate for the national team of Kenya?
Yes, we need a lot of this competition because it's high level competition, and we need to play a lot of these games. And as I was telling coach, good things take time, and we are willing to work hard to get this thing right, and we shall.
Again, sorry, coach. You've spoken previously about obviously your team's aggression on boards and so on, and today you got 10 more offensive rebounds than Tigers did. Can you speak to obviously the change in mentality, or rather the adjustment that your team has made to accomplish such a feat?
Maybe we're reading the different stat sheet. I think they had 10 more than we did. So they played with two bigs today, and so I think we knew rebounding was going to be difficult, but I think we knew also like we need to just limit their 3-point shooting, which we failed to, but I think we did when we needed to. They took more 3-point shots than we wanted to give up, but I think we played the right way when the game was on the line.
So yes, the Thunder won this game, but the outcome of this game was irrelevant because Dar City had already clinched. So this was more of an exhibition game, and I really did not even waste my time talking about this game because it meant nothing. And one thing is for sure, the Thunder fans, the Thunder fraternity will make this look like the best win that they've had. But if you look at it closely, you will see that the Thunder are lying to you, and here's why. So the guy who had the scoring record in Craig Randall, the second, he scored 54 points in a single game, the largest scoring record the largest scoring in-game record. So he broke that record. The last guy who held that record was Joe Lola-Chill with 42 points, and Craig Randall was able to do that. And looking at the RS Tigers at the time, their three best scorers. So Craig Randall sat out, Ntoya sat out, and Tefaleno Jr. He sat out, but he was dealing with some injuries here and there. And the Thunder still, even with the RS Tigers not having the three productive players offensively, the Thunder still struggled to win this game because this game was still clutch till the end. So what that communicated to me was the quality of the roster for the Nairobi Thunder was poor. Their roster was poor. They really looked at themselves. They really overinflated themselves. They really looked at them as the best team after they won this. And you could see some stupid fans out there saying that if they beat the RS Tigers, they're going to make it to the postseason. And they didn't understand that point differential also matters, because when you have a tie record, because if you look at the record that the Dar City team had, you could see that the Dar City team, they had a 2-3 record, but they had a greater point differential because of the performance they had in the previous day leading up to the Thunder versus RS Tigers game. So, to be honest, I expected this outcome. I knew the Thunder were not going to make it to the postseason. I knew the Thunder were going to fail. I knew the Thunder were going to flop. And, the delusion continues. So, even before I give my final closing thoughts, let's just hear what this fossil in Ariel Local had to say with reference to their performance in BAL, and take note of the excuses, take note of the lack of awareness, and take note of the delusion that was being exhibited from this guy. So let me just play this clip, then I'll come back with my final thoughts.
For us players, the preparation starts now. The mistakes that we did, we just need to improve on that, and then come back next season stronger. The results sometimes reflects leagues that you're running back at home and the quality of the league. So that actually, there's some truth in that, the way coach said. If we can improve the nature of the game locally, I think the preparation for us going now there competing in international tournament, Kenya can be really solid. We can still play at that level. It's just a matter of discipline for us to just go out every single night and perform at an elite BL level. If we can do that for all the games that we play, then I think we can adapt to that and we can pick up that behavior of playing at an elite level. It's just us and us, so I don't think we can expect other teams to come and help us be competitive. It's just a matter of us players and the technical bench to say that we can do this the entire year and we can carry it forward to BL 7. Seeing some of the local boys, we call them the black boys, playing out there is really motivational to some of our other players who stayed behind. And it just means that
anything is possible. Anybody can play at that level. So we are just trying to do what we do best.
So whatever is happening here is just pure mind games. So Ariel Okal, can you try to get your excuses right? Are you saying that the quality of your preparation was not good, or the quality of the competition that is in the league is not good? So which one is it? Which one is it? Because you cannot have two mutually exclusive excuses, because keep your excuses in order. You can't say that the quality of the league is poor and that's the reason as to why you fail. Then you turn right around and say, we have to have a quality training, you have to do all these things internally and not look at the quality of the competition outside. So which one is it? Because I was confused, because when I was watching back and I was looking back at this, I really laughed so much, because you could see there's a lack of awareness when it comes down to what is wrong and the reason as to why the Thunder are failing. So the Thunder are failing in BAL, not because they cannot be able to improve, and not because they lack the resources, they lack the financial backing. Is the people, the personnel who are there. They are the reason as to why they lose. You can see the level of the mentality that is there. You can see their coaching staff is so inexperienced. You can see they have a quote unquote statistician who is poses there as a statistician but cannot even tell them the truth. There are too many yes men in that camp who are not going to be honest with you when things happen. And the reason as to why the excuses keep piling on is the fact that they are not ready for that conversation. They're not ready to ask themselves, who is responsible for this L? Is it the coach? Is it the players? Is it the technical bench? Is it the scouting department? Who is responsible? So this video has become lengthy because I've talked about a lot of things and I've tried to put a lot of context to things. And I even recommended that if the Thunder want to get better, they should source for competition elsewhere. They should take the Thunder to North Africa and battle out with teams that are there, to be able to at least increase their IQ when it comes down to playing. Because what is happening currently, present day as we speak, the Thunder lost in BAL Season 6. Yes, they did not play in the postseason. They have reverted back to what they know to do best. They overinflate their games. They try to make people forget. They try to run, campaigns to make sure that people forget what happened in BAL Season 6. They try to tell people like they're still the best team in basketball. Yes, Kenyan basketball, yes, but outside, no. And, they try desperately to make people forget things. They try to sell themselves more as a brand than a basketball team. They're using basketball as a tool and a vehicle. They're not looking at basketball as a way to, they're not improving their basketball. They're only improving their image. And that is why I&M swooped in with 10 million to help them. And to be honest, the Thunder are a disgrace. They're not a team. They're overrated. They are lying to you. Don't fall into that Thunder trap where they try to sell you a dream where they're like, we are the best, you can do this. But if your best team in Kenya is being outclassed, getting clapped every single game in BAL, it reflects poorly on their overall image in the continent. Because from where I sit, the Nairobi Thunder were not a team that was built to compete in Kenyan basketball alone. They were built and put together to compete in BAL. And that assignment has proven to be difficult because as we speak, they have a 3-8 record in BAL. They have gone through multiple players. They have run through their roster. They have overhauled their roster to the point where it's unrecognizable anymore. Their identity is lost. Some of their players, the players who were good like 2 years ago, have fallen off. And you could see they are on a downward spiral and they are on oblivion. They are regressing to oblivion. And their recent addition, guess who they added? Bush Wamukota, Jesus. I don't know why the Thunder are doing this. Why do you add a washed player, a player who was a bench warmer for APR in BAL Season 4, BAL 2024, where APR did not even make the playoffs? You put a player who is just, 7 foot of nothing. This is a guy who can't grab a rebound. These are people who are way past their primes. Ariel Okal is way past his prime. Bush Wamukota way past their prime. The the Nairobi Thunder, they are the retirement home of the Kenyan Morans legacy players. I'm not sure. They're picking these people like it's, Pokemon Go back in the day. Like, they're stacking the deck with players who are already washed. Yes, they might look good here. Even the highlights will lie to you. But these players are not good. A guy like Eugene Adera was a failure at the point guard position. Coach Mshila Rose wet the bed in BAL Season 6. Brad Eves should be fired. I even called for these guys firing after BAL Season 5 because he's useless. Okay, you can keep him here to win games for you, but when it comes down to BAL basketball, not only should the Thunder overhaul, their players, but also overhaul their coaching staff. And right now, as we speak currently, BAL, they're on their first phases in franchising. And guess only how many spots are left for teams to compete in Road to BAL? Only one. Only one. Only one team will make it. Only one spot. All the others are already taken. So, with the Thunder's poor performances, given the fact that they've had multiple times to compete in BAL, and they're saying that we're going to get it back next year. When will next year come? If franchising keeps coming in, will the Thunder be able to raise $50 million? That's like 6.5 billion Kenyan shillings. Can they be able to raise that to participate in franchising and be part of a BAL permanent franchise? I don't think so. I mean, they have missed opportunities. They are lying to us that, they are the best team in basketball. Even Kenyan basketball means nothing because you cannot blame the quality of the league. Then you also go ahead and blame your preparations. That means there's somebody out there who's not being honest with you. And to be quite frank, I have been honest with the Thunder and I've been consistent with them and I've told them things that they don't want to hear. And I've told them the truth. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that it's not fact. Facts don't care about your feelings. And anyone who's going to come in and try to argue with feelings and emotions here, you'll always get outclassed by me because I'll always bring the facts, and that's one thing that you cannot fight. I have posted the graphics for BAL Season 5 and BAL Season 6 for when it came down to the Thunder and their performance. A lot of people feel some type of way about it. Personally, I really do not care. And I really laugh at them because the only people who they are fooling is themselves. And it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section down below. I've made a lot of videos talking about the Thunder. And when they do any stupid thing, I'll just go ahead and put it down there, lay it bare so that we can laugh at it together. So hope you guys all enjoyed this. The previous video was about 2 hours long. This one is about an hour long. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack. And hopefully I can be able to go ahead and do more of these videos as we move forward. So yeah, also I've put an MPESA till number to support the content. Really, it takes a lot of time to do this, but hey, I will not mind if you chip in and donate to the network. So like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.